Welcome back to College Hill Farm. Today we're making shuck beans. Well, Crystal's away and generally she doesn't want to talk in her videos when she makes food. So she's away and I'm going to make my favorite dinner. We can our shuck beans, and when I say can them, we put them in a jar and use a vacuum sealer and suck the air out. This one was open previously, but this next one will have to be opened. So let me pull out a can opener here right quick and open that baby. You can hear that seal break. Now these are shuck beans from 2017. Well, it's 2019, but it'll be time for me to save another set. So one thing that can happen is these can get little bugs in them, but you would see the bugs right here in the bottom. And if you're going to dry beans and put them up this way and you're afraid of bugs, throw that baby in the microwave for just a few seconds before you see it take the air out. That will make sure that the bugs don't get in there. Now, and we've never had a problem with bugs, just saying. Now, what you need to make shuck beans, of course, you need a pressure cooker. You don't have to have a pressure cooker. You can make them in a crock pot. You can make them on the stove, cooking them all day long. But I find that they're better in a pressure cooker. So, to start off with, it's early in the morning. I'm going to pressure cook these about 5 o'clock today. So, I want to make sure that they get about a 10-hour soak. So, the first thing you want to do is you need a big bowl. And you pour your shuck beans, dried beans. These are 6-week beans. And then pour this one in. Now 2 quarts of shuck beans would be all you could do in this pressure cooker. And I don't know how many quarts it is. So it's probably an 8 quart. So the first thing you have to do, when you put up beans, some of these too are long. I want to break them a little bit more. Now, when you put up beans like this, you don't wash them before you put them up. So the first thing you want to do is wash these because they haven't been washed. Because if you wash your shuck beans to begin with, there was a good possibility that they might sour. So I'm going to go over here to the sink and wash these. You don't need me to show you washing them. You run water on them. You wash them around. And you pour that water off. I'll do that 2 or 3 or 4 times until the water is totally clear. And then I'll come back to you. Got them ready. They're all in here soaking. This is a big bowl. I put a lot of water in it. There's at least that much water underneath the beans where they're floating. It's probably got 2 or 3 gallons. It's probably got 1.5 gallons of water in there, in that 1.5 quarts of beans. And what I'll do is I'll leave this set for 9 hours. It's 8 o'clock now, so 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll be ready to cook our beans. So I'm just going to leave this set right here on the counter. Well, I'll probably put it back here. I'll leave it set there. It'll sit all day while I go out to the US 25 yard sale. When the cat's away, the mice will play. That's how I get a lot of my tools. So I'm going to leave that set. And then this evening I'll come back and show you what you have to do to make shuck beans. Our beans are ready. They've soaked for 8 hours, 8.5. Would have been 9 hours. It's 4:30, and I've put the water off. I poured the water off of them. I've added more water and rinsed them twice because the water was a little dark, and so I've rinsed them good. This is what they look like. There's still a little bit of water in this bowl, but that's okay. This is what they look like. They're fully hydrated now. If you look at this bean, it's nice and soft. So we just take this and we put them in a standard pressure cooker. Try not to spill them. Basically, the beans have doubled in size. This is an 8-quart kettle, and the bottom's pretty good ways down in there. So the beans have basically doubled in size. Now we've got our beans in here. So what are we going to do next? Well, there's the one thing that really makes beans good. I got to go over here to the fridge. Yesterday, before I decided to do beans today, we fried bacon. Now this is the grease off a whole pack of bacon, and we just stick it in the fridge. It's like gold. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a regular household tablespoon. I'm going to reach in here and get 2 heaping tablespoons of this bacon grease. That's enough. Get in there. Don't want to lose none, waste none. Okay, bacon grease is in there. Put this in the sink. Now, what else do I want to put in there? Well, you need plenty of salt. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it here in my hand, and I'm going to say I'm going to put a good 1.5 tablespoons of salt in here. You can add more later if you want to. That was a good little handful of salt. Now once the salt's in and the grease is in, remember how many shuck beans we use. So I'm going to use 1 quart and 1/2. That's probably about how many there were, so still a little water left over. You use about the same amount of water that you had shuck beans in the jar to begin with. You can use a little bit less. It cuts down on the cook time. Now I'm going to put my thing in here. Okay. There we go. Okay, now it's locked. The weight's on. We put it on our stove. And turn the eye on high. And then this will begin to jiggle. Now I'll explain what we do next. You can hear the jiggler. I'm going to turn down the stove a little bit, and I will time from right now 45 minutes, but I want it to stay, turn it back up, I may have turned it down too much. I want it to stay jiggling like that, and for 45 minutes. Okay folks, 45 minutes is up. Almost knocked over my cornmeal. 45 minutes is up, so I'm going to take the pot off of the heat. Okay. Now, I want to let this come off. I'm going to turn this down some. I'm going to reuse that eye, so I'm going to turn it down some. Okay. Let the pressure off. And now the pressure's off, and I heard the lock unlock. So now I can open the lid. We've got in the pot. You'll notice most of the water is gone. but there's still some water in there. Well, we don't want that water. So I'm going to turn on the back eye on high. Your eye on high, and go ahead and boil the water off of this. While that water's boiling off, you got to have cornbread if you're going to have shuck beans. So what I've got here, Crystal's not here. She's gone to Georgia. So if I want to have some cornbread, I don't want to make a whole pan of cornbread, so I'm going to make cornbread fritters. So I'll start off with about a cup of cornmeal. Now Crystal and I can't keep milk in the house because we don't drink it. It just goes bad. So what we've started doing is buying instant milk. Now what I need is about a half a cup of milk. So if I look at this, 1/3 a cup, let's see, of dry makes 1 cup prepared. So I don't need a full cup of milk. I only need about half a cup. So I'm going to take and put in here about 1/4 of a cup, a little less than 1/4 of a cup of milk, dry milk. That's all I need. 1/4 of a cup of dry milk, and then fill that up about halfway with water. And put that in with our cornmeal mix. Now I'm going to take one of our farm fresh eggs, break that baby in there. So I've got an egg, cornmeal, and what do I need next? I need a little bit of oil, but not a lot. So grab the pan, a little bit of vegetable oil. Now if you hear behind me, those beans are boiling away. That's enough. So what I'm going to do is stir them right quick. You don't want to mess up and let your shuck beans boil dry completely because you'll burn them. But get this all stirred up. I may have to add some more flour to it, more cornmeal, but I don't think so. And I just eyeballed about a cup of cornmeal. That's a little wet, but it'll be alright. Now, once I've done that, I'll come over here and pan up my pan, because I didn't turn that eye off a while ago. That eye is still hot. I'm going to start by pouring a little cornmeal in there. Oops, stop there. Let that one start cooking, and I'll bring you over so you can see. I'll let that cook. Stir these beans again. Remember, you've got them babies on high. Flip my fritter. Let it cook on that side. If you make your cornmeal kind of thin, your fritters cook really quick and they don't take long. That one I had it to the side a little bit. Stir them beans again. Still enough water to keep going. Is that done? Yep, that's done. There's a cornbread fritter. That'll be good with dinner. Let's make a couple more. Just pour that cornmeal in there. And because I make it kind of thin, they cook really, really fast. Okay, stove's off. I'll let that sit there a minute. Okay, folks, here we go. Complete meal. Shuck beans, tomatoes, cucumbers. Got those at the US 25 yard sale today. Little kosher salt. Little kosher salt on the cucumbers. Let's check and see if the salt was sufficient on our shuck beans. Oh, those are awesome. They came out perfect. No extra salt needed. How's that? And the cornbread's good too. One thing before we go, shuck beans are better the next day. These are absolutely awesome right now. They're better tomorrow. So just put them in the fridge, heat them in the microwave. They're awesome. These are going to be dinner for me for 2-3 days. Of course, the cucumbers and stuff adds to it. I wish they were mine. So now if you like this stuff, this homesteading, do-it-yourself kind of stuff, be certain to come on out to the channel, subscribe. If you hit the little subscribe button right here, take you to our home channel and where you can subscribe, and if you hit the bell, it'll notify you when we upload a video. We upload videos every Sunday. Sometimes 1 video, sometimes 5. Just depends on what was going on the homestead that week. So it's time for me to get on to dinner and to the next thing.